Story so many of you have expressed concern about tonight, a skin cancer scare for our own Alicia Smith. Alicia will have surgery tomorrow morning after being diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma.
It is the most common skin cancer in the world, millions diagnosed with it every year. And Alicia's been here all afternoon. She's standing by now with our chief health editor, Dr. Partha Nandi. Good evening to you, Alicia and Doctor.
Thank you so much, Glenda and Curtis. Dr. Nandi, so many people have reached out to me since I shared this story today, and their support is overwhelming and so appreciated. But a lot of them have shared their own personal stories of battling skin cancer or someone they know. And I know the basal cell carcinoma that I have, it's the most common skin cancer. How is it different, though, from melanoma that you hear about so much and also squamous cell carcinoma?
There are differences. First of all, thank you for doing this. You know, a lot of people do not share their health concerns because what you're doing is really going to help the whole city and hopefully even more than that. So yeah, and I think that what you're doing is extremely what we call being a health hero. So what are the differences? It's actually the layers of the skin, right, that causes this. So when you talk about squamous cell, it's the outer layer that you have, and then deeper down is the basal layer, and that's basal cell. And then if you have melanoma, the melanocytes, which give you your normal skin color, when those become, malignant, you talk about melanoma, deadliest kind of skin cancer.
Right, and the damage happens from UV rays. I mean, you're out in the sun, and I was not a sun worshiper, I'll note that straight up, but I always paid attention to my moles, and I tried to apply sunscreen. But obviously I did not apply it enough. I don't want to hide under a blanket. How can we protect ourselves from UV damage? You know,
it's important that we talked about that you have a family history of skin cancer, so when she's at increased risk. But the rest of us, we get sun. So if you're getting sun, you tell your kids, remember, apply sunscreen, but apply and then reapply every 2 hours. Remember, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. are the strongest time when you get skin rays. If you have a family history, definitely get checked out. And all of us should really get checked out every month. Check yourself out, but once a year, go to a dermatologist. Really important to talk about that. And then we talked about you having a family history of melanoma. Just because she has a family history of melanoma doesn't mean that you're not at risk of anything else. Avoid any tanning and UV tanning beds, especially for yourself, but everybody else.
You know, and you hear about that a lot. I never was in a tanning bed, but is that something that is even worse than sun damage?
Absolutely, because you're concentrating the rays and sitting there, and your whole idea is to get sun damage, which is what we call getting a tan, right? So I think, I'm really, really tough with my kids and let them know that you have to put, sunscreen on every single time. Even one sunburn can really increase your risk of skin cancer throughout your lifetime.
And it's not just people with fair skin, though, right?
Exactly. It's a lot of our, like for people like me who are not fair skin, we can get different kinds of skin cancer, especially squamous cell skin cancer and melanoma, sometimes in the soles of our feet, and so places where you don't expect you to have, sun damage or
one
sun
viewer
exposed.
said he got it in his toenail bed. I was like, amazing.
The most common kind of cancers, we talk about skin cancer. So like you're talking about this, and we should really be proactive and say, you know what, I'm going to examine myself.
Check the skin, check any differences.
And check your spouses as well, like you talked about.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Great sound advice, Dr. Nandi. Really do appreciate it. Glenda, Curtis, back to you.
And thank you, Alicia, so much for sharing your story with us. It's going to help a lot of people.
Prayers with you. You're a brave girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you.